somebody and they're talking about it. Now, granted, let's look at Super Bowl 2023 ratings. It got over 113 million people watching. Let's look at the World Cup. World Cup Finals viewership. They claimed 1.5 billion. So essentially the World Cup final, right? The World Cup final is watched by literally 10 times the amount of people as the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl is watched 10 times. Think about this. Think about tens. You got the NBA Finals. One game of the Super Bowl is watched 10 times more than the NBA Finals. Then you have the World Cup that's watched 10 times, the World Cup Finals, watched 10 times more than the Super Bowl. So this is the biggest event. Apparently it's going to be in Toronto and Vancouver, and pretty much Drake is going to be a part of it. And I got to say now, before I even play this, Drake, you'd be fucking stupid if you don't perform at this. Like I can't understand this too cool for school shit. I get the whole I don't want to be at the Grammys thing, because the Grammys been playing you and giving the awards to all the niggas who don't use deodorant and who's on some we gonna be all right shit. I get that. I get, like, after a while saying fuck the Grammys. But these other looks, I have zero idea why the biggest rapper is not doing it. Like I have, okay, cool, you turned out a Super Bowl a couple times. All right, but didn't Drake host the SP? I don't know, bro. Anyway, this is him talking about the World Cup, which I hope, if he gets a chance to perform here. And so that's a good thing. And I guess this is probably like, we're 2 years out. I hope Drake, brother, you gotta, part of being the biggest is doing the biggest, right? Like, you gotta have those biggest moments, right? And Super Bowl is big. Obviously, the World Cup also is bigger. As far as turning down multiple years of offers from the Super Bowl, like, I do have questions about that. Here's the questions I have. Well, did he turn down a headlining set at the Super Bowl? Because let me go back to what Mealy Mall said.
That's family? Or are you on the other side with OVO and boycotting? Like turning off the TV when halftime comes?
No, it's the reason why, because again, Kendrick is one of the ones that eventually would have had a halftime. So now, the sticky part about all of this is Drake has been offered this Super Bowl show for some years now and has turned it down. Probably 4 years he's been offered.
Okay. Now, you know why this is interesting? Super Bowl halftime show performers. It's interesting because if what Mealy Mall is saying, it would probably, if it's 4 years now, it would probably kind of debunk what everybody's saying about Jay-Z. Because essentially, Jay-Z has controlled this shit since like 2020 or 2021. So 4 years ago, Jay-Z started managing or picking who performs. So if he's been asking Drake every year and Drake has turned it down, how much of a hater could Jay be? Right? Like, how much of a hater could he really be? And then I'm also wondering, if he was he offered a headlining spot, right? Because, like, for example, 50 Cent was seen, and the way 50 like popped out, he was a guest, right? 50 was a guest in 2022. I'm also trying to think which one of these would 50 be able to replace. I ain't gonna lie to you. 2020 or 2020? Yeah, 2020. I could see Rock Nation giving this Shakira and J-Lo, even though I think this was in Miami, right? Well, actually, Shakira and J-Lo, it's in Miami. A lot of Hispanics. They bring out Bad Bunny. I can still see Drake coming out of this one, though, still, right? 2021, they give it to The Weeknd. I could see, obviously, The Weeknd and Drake's relationship been, iffy. I could see Drake being a guest here, but I'm wondering if they would have offered the headliner to Drake. That would be interesting. Over the weekend. 2022, they gave it to Dr. Dre and Friends, which includes Snoop, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick, 50. Would they have just given that to Drake, or maybe Drake could be like brought out by, I don't know. I can't even see him in this mix, low key, honestly. There's no lineage that he's tied to with this group, but whatever. Would he have gotten it for 2023 instead of Rihanna? Would that be the look? Yo, let's give Drake the look instead of Rihanna. And then obviously last year was Usher. I don't know. I almost feel like there were probably offers, but maybe not offers to headline, unless we're talking about him knocking out the Weeknd, or maybe it's a Weeknd and Drake show, right? Like Weeknd